All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's great to see you in 2024. I know this is a little bit late for your for our regularly scheduled programming, but right, we wanted to give everybody a little bit of a break in January. So we're here in February, ready to go. Thank you for joining us. Um, as usual, if you're new, this is all new information for you, but this is on Zoom. If you have any questions, right, Darren, as you know, is always super excited to answer all of your questions. Today will be a high-level overview of everything that was covered in the CES Awards show. So we're ready, we're excited. Darren's ready. If you have questions, please put them in the chat. Darren's fantastic about looking at the chat. So we'll handle all of the questions that we possibly can. I know that's why you're all here. Just a quick reminder, so we do have the survey at the end. 4 lucky survey participants will be randomly selected to win a $25 Amazon gift card. So we want your feedback. We want to hear how we did. We want to know what else you're looking for in 2024 that we can give to you. So please don't be shy. That's what we're ready for. That's what we're here for. And without further ado, I'm handing it off to Darren. I know that's why you all are here. So Darren, take it away.
Hey, thanks for that, Jack. And you know, we're in February. Can I say Happy New Year, or is it too late? Right? It's probably a slap on the wrist. But anyhow, excited to be here. I haven't shared my screen just yet, but we're going to do a little bit of level setting here. So for the community, my name is Darren Patel. I'm one of the client technologists here at Dell. My focus primarily is on the commercial side of the house. Now, CES, Consumer Electronics Show, definitely an exciting time in technology where you get to see all of the innovation. It did take place last month. The disclaimer here is I was not on site at CES. Maybe one day I will. I'm not sure if, let me just do a quick spot check in the attendees. Sometimes some of my colleagues actually had an opportunity to head there. And, you know, every year you see some of the most interesting tech. The objective of today's webinar, we are here for the full hour. Oftentimes, if you've heard me speak, I can fill that full hour. My strategy and objective here is actually to give time back today. I know how busy days are, and the last thing you want to do is hear Darren talk for a full hour. But basically, we are going to cover off some of the exciting announcements that took place surrounding CES, so not necessarily focused primarily just on the awards. I'll bring up some of the blog posts that took place, and we'll go through some of that. But without further ado, we'll jump in. Steve, thanks for the comments. I am looking at the chat, so again, you know, make this a two-way conversation. The last thing you want to be on a call is hear some random person on a webinar, just not be two-way and interactive. So hopefully the screen is coming up, and I do see that it is looking good. Let me just quickly bring up the video panel so I see everyone. Let me get the chat window. So you're getting a lot of comments on the shirt. Now, I don't have any Dell Client community gear, but Jack and Kirsten, you know, definitely something to think about. There is a lot of comments about that. But jumping in, so CES 2024 Innovation Awards. So, you know, a lot of the team that's on here, you want to see, hey, what did Dell win, right? And there's 2 exciting announcements from an Alienware perspective. I can't wait to physically get my hands on these and play around with it and see it myself. From a commercial standpoint, we also won an award with our brand new U40 Thunderbolt 40-inch curved display. And over here to my right off screen, I'm using the previous gen, the U40 21QW, and I absolutely love it. So super pumped to be talking about some of that stuff. What I will bring up on screen, and again, a little bit of moving back and forth, but I want to share just some of the blog posts that Jack and team will be sharing a little bit further. And hey, if you did actually want to see or read what I've brought up on screen with a little bit more detail, you're more than welcome to. So the first is going to be around the monitors. I will be covering off both of these monitors that did come out. Fantastic blog post that you can bring up. The next, stealing some of my own thunder, is around the XPS line of business. Some really big announcements that took place right around CES. I'll do a quick little demo of the XPS 13 Plus, talk about the strategy there. But we came to market with the 14, 16, and refreshed 13, and we'll talk about what are the features are there, and we'll go ahead and share that. The Alienware monitors that won the award, the 27-inch and 32-inch, ton of innovation. So we'll send these links. You can certainly go take a look and read it. But you'll notice that there is going to be some overlap with what you're seeing in the blog post and what I'm communicating because of the NDAs and confidentiality that surrounds some of the material here that just isn't hit prime time just yet. So we'll pay attention to that. But from an Alienware perspective, again, not solely focused on the CES Awards, but around CES, we announced the M16R2, the X16R2, and the M18R2. So a ton of excitement there. I do get pretty animated, and my team was talking about how excited I'm going to be, and obviously, hopefully, you are seeing the excitement there. And now the Alienware peripheral story. I am absolutely pumped to see us play in this space. There was research done with up to 100 esports athletes to get some of this to market, and we'll talk about that. Again, super high level. I was just telling Jack before this webinar took off that, hey, it'd be really great if we had a Alienware focused event and you'd be able to do that. I do see in the chat there was asked around a summary of all these products, and it sounds like there will be a follow-up artifact to enable you to unpack some of this. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump in. And again, a little bit of a roulette on my screen here. We'll go ahead and show my video panel so I can see everything, bring up the chat, and bring up the participant list. So I'm good to go. And so I don't know if anyone's played around with this, but Zoom, as of late, has done the spotlight now, so I can actually do that side by side. But to prevent any technical errors or any issues, let's keep things simple. We'll go into the traditional view. So starting off with our displays now on screen. Maybe your office looks like this. I know my office doesn't. One day maybe it will. Use the chat. Anyone kind of seeing some synergies there? I know on the LinkedIn page, there was a setup contest going on where members can share pics of it. So, feel free to do that. But you're seeing on screen on the left-hand side is the 40-inch and on the right is the 34-inch. So the key call out here is the 40-inch and 34-inch getting refreshed to these particular panels. And you are going to see Thunderbolt capabilities, which is fantastic. So it means it's going to play nice with the ecosystem. You're going to see more bandwidth. Not only that, when we talk about the 40-inch did win that CES Innovation Award. I can't wait to get my hands on there. A couple of things. You're going to see all the way up to 120 hertz refresh rate. Awesome to see that. Your picture quality, your whatever you're doing on it is going to look that much better. You're going to see 140 watts of power delivery. So gone are the days where you would hit that artificial cap of 90 watts. You can now see 140 watts. So, hey, if you're connecting a precision workstation, right, something like this, where you need higher than 90 watts of power delivery, you have something like this that can do it. Robert, comment said, dual purpose monitor for work and play. Absolutely. You have now the perfect device, built-in KVM. So if you need to get a little gameplay during your day or watch a little Netflix, that KVM will allow you to go back and forth. But you are spot on, dual purpose monitor, right? That 40-inch, I think everyone out there wants to get their hands on there. 99% coverage of DCI-3, which means, hey, colors are going to pop. IPS black, we've talked about for a long period of time. Contrast ratio of 2000 to 1. This is an absolute stellar monitor. Thunderbolt capabilities, which means, hey, you can now plug in your full ecosystem directly into the hub display, including your Ethernet. This is the panel. I can't wait to replace my 40-inch over here and do some musical chairs of juggling. But honestly, I cannot talk about this monitor enough. The colors, the screen. Jim said, hey, this looks nice. Dave said that looks awesome. I absolutely agree. Again, anyone in Vegas that did get an opportunity to check out the U40, we did have a displays event. You're probably going to ask, hey, Darren, when's this coming out? I would say stay tuned. It is coming soon. Reach out to your Dell account teams. Let's get a unit in your hands. Think about your personal work setups. Think about your corporate environments, executive offices. Our ultra sharp portfolio is going to be a great fit. I didn't get into the technical details, but this is a 5K resolution, ultra comfort from a Comfort View Plus technology. So really helping you filter out some of that harmful blue light. You are going to see the model number. It's a U4025QW. So if you're looking for this afterwards, but there is a blog post, you will see that. Again, replacing our existing U40 curved display. Can't talk about this as much, but let's go ahead and take a look at a quick video that was part of the press kit. Call it the 5-star comfort, 120 hertz refresh rate, IPS black, color coverage, ambient light sensor. So this is a cool one that's going to adjust your brightness depending on lighting conditions. Comfort View Plus, I talked about, Thunderbolt 4, quick access pop-out ports. If you have peripherals, you're able to charge them. This thing is so sweet. So a lot of commentary in the chat now. So Coors has said, hey, 2 U40s would be awesome to replace my 3 monitor setup. You'd have definitely a lot more real estate because that's 2 5K screens. You pair it with Dell Display Manager, you are absolutely crushing it. Todd's talking about the pop-out port. I know he's got peripherals he wants to plug in. Kevin said, hey, I want 4 sideways. So basically you're creating your command center. David said, hey, I can't wait to get one of these. So you're seeing, the community talk about this. So U40, rightfully so, super passionate talking about this panel. Again, seeing is believing. I can't wait for all of you to see it. So Karim's asked about G-Sync. That's primarily on the, the consumer side of the house. Gaming space. We'll talk about some of that when we get to Alienware. This is a commercial purpose-built display. So definitely want to call that out there. The 34-inch, in essence of time, we do want to keep an eye on everything. So the 34-inch did not win a CES award, but by no means is a shot at this display. This is a fantastic display. Again, refreshed. You're going to see a lot of innovation that comes to life with this. So call out here from a charging perspective, this is going to do the 90 watts. If you actually want the optimal pairing for precision, go up to that U40 where you're doing 140 watts. You're going to see increased refresh rates and all of the good stuff that comes to life. Let's go back one slide. So a ton of innovation there. The U34 and U40. So again, from a displays perspective, as it relates to ultra sharp, a ton of innovation that did get announced around CES. And the call out there is the U40 is the one that won the CES award. So the U34, you can go ahead and check that out online. Model number is U3425WE. I've talked about our model numbers with customers. So if you didn't know, U stands for ultra sharp, 34 being the 34-inch display, 25 being our fiscal year when the monitors come to market, not to be confused with calendar year. W stands for widescreen, so that's going to be WQHD, and the E stands for that hub. It has built-in Ethernet capabilities, right? So definitely a ton of innovation in this display. Go check it out, and let's get excited. I think there was a question in the Q&A. Will this play nice with iOS? So you're talking about the Apple ecosystem. So Serena, I will answer the question live. Yes, because it does have Thunderbolt capabilities, it will work great with the extended OSs. So, get a unit in your hands, test it out, and, see for yourself. Great news with Thunderbolt, right? That's to me pretty awesome. So the Thunderbolt, there is a comment on Russell's. So agree, it'd be nice if we do have that pop down port, but there are side access ports just below the monitor. I believe it's on this side. I don't have a good view of it, but absolutely something to keep in mind. Aaron's put a comment about the price. Absolutely, there is, the monitor packs a ton of a punch from innovation, right? So there is going to be a price tag to it. But U40, talk to your Dell account team. They'll do everything in your power to make sure it's as priced as competitively as possible. So keep that in mind, and we'll keep rolling. So next up is Alienware, and you're probably going to get super technical on me, and I may not have all the answers, or I very well could tap the extended team that's on here. I know there is an army of people that may have on the Dell side of the fence. But we came to market and announced the 32-inch 4K quantum dot OLED. This panel looks absolutely awesome. And then on the right-hand side, a 27-inch 360 hertz QD OLED display. Ton of innovation, right? And we're really just building on the quantum dot OLED family, which we debuted at CES 2022. So you're seeing that continued evolution of products there. If you haven't seen some of that QD OLED technology, seeing that, spill out view, things look absolutely stellar. You have to see this to believe it. So Kevin, great segue. 360 hertz and a couple of dots, right? That 27-inch 360 hertz OLED display, giving you the maximum frame rate, 1440p resolution. There was a comment a little earlier, not into the broad chat, but into the hosts or panelists. But we do have a G-Sync version, right, of this panel. But the 27-inch on screen, a ton of innovation that went in. If you did want to take a look at some of the the spec sheet that is part of the press kit, I'm not letting go of any key secrets just yet, but it is a QHD, so 2560 by 1440. Honestly, you got to see this monitor, right? There's a ton of innovation. So if you look at the stand and you're saying, hey, Darren, that stand looks very different. It's all about that desk space, right? A ton of innovation in the panel. Let's go ahead and take a look at a quick little video on it. Think about the response times, the called out AMD FreeSync, but there is a G-Sync version. 360 hertz. Imagine the advantage you're going to get from a gameplay perspective. I think everyone needs to get their hands on a 360 hertz. So from comparison, right, you think about a traditional monitor or display doing 60 hertz. Now we're toying in the commercial space, going up to 120 hertz. And now you have an Alienware display, 27-inch, perfect sweet spot from a resolution standpoint and screen size, desk space, hitting 360 hertz. It is absolutely stellar. So Kristen said 360 hertz, giving me the fire emoji. Absolutely agree. Steve wants to go push that innovation umbrella, wants to go 720 hertz. I don't know what kind of eyes you have, but hey, sky's the limit. Let's see how we keep pushing that innovation umbrella. Russell's talked about his my current monitor didn't do that video any justice. I know my setup here probably didn't do any justice there. So Brian said, hey, he's gonna need a bigger desk at work and home. But hey, that stand of that monitor is actually shrunk. So, maybe you have more gear that you want to display. So 27-inch, again, ton of information online. I wanted to just do a very quick high-level overview here. The 32-inch is a really unique product because it's the world's first 4K quantum dot OLED monitor. Really, if you're going for that ultimate high-end gaming setup, this is the panel that you want. 4K, you may or may not be gaming in 4K. Typically, think 1080p, but now you're seeing that push for higher resolution, right? So this is a great kind of display to put in your hands. Incredible colors, the raw performance that you're going to get, the responsiveness, the contrast ratio. Think about the high visual fidelity that you're going to get from a gaming monitor. There's probably a ton of gamers. We're up to 117 that have dialed in. Give me some feedback. What are you leaning towards? That 27-inch 360 hertz display or the 32-inch 4K, right? What side are you going to play on? Let's have some fun and get some feedback there. From a speeds and feeds perspective, again, if you did want to take a look at it, resolution-wise, 4K. So you're going all the way up to 3840 by 2160. Definitely top of the pack there. A ton of stuff from an HDR perspective. You're going to see incredible brightness, right? Where you're going to go to some really awesome response or nit count. You're going to see 240 hertz, which is still pretty spectacular. And then you're going to see Dolby Vision technology, Dolby HDR, all of that incredible kind of value add that gets packaged in to a display like that. So we did get one comment on the 32-inch, right? The 32-inch 4K. Hey, that's the angle I'm going. Praveen's talked about some of the functionality that's on the display. And again, love to see the community come to life. Serena's talked about the 27-inch 2K or 27-inch 360 hertz display that I just talked about a few moments ago. But the net of it is, Alienware has done some really incredible things, and rightfully so, was recognized at CES. So let's take a look at the video for that 32-inch. Talk about the detail, right? 4K resolution going all the way up. Gaming in real life, curved 32-inch screen. The stand's been optimized. Think about the port capabilities. Talked about Dolby Vision, talked about some of the vibrant colors, 240 refresh rate. So these videos were all part of the press kit. You're probably seeing some of the collateral on, the Alienware YouTube page. So definitely a lot of capabilities there. So Daniel's asked, will the monitors have picture-in-picture? I can speak with confidence on the ultra sharp side of the house where you will see some of that picture-in-picture. You do have integrated MST technology, so you can actually see discrete screens in your display manager versus, a single pane of glass. With regards to Alienware, we can try and track down some clarity and keep that rolling there. Ultra for Ultramarines. Guess I know where tax refunds are going to be going to. So we've got some pretty awesome comments in terms of where people are going to be spending their personal money. Again, consumer space. I am probably not doing it justice. I will share some collateral. Go take a look there. So on the notion of Alienware, we're going to pivot away from hey, that pure focus of CES. Again, I showed this at the beginning. These were the award winners where we really walked away with the innovation awards that obviously Dell is laser focused on. What I talked about at the beginning was some of the other announcements. Typically this time of year, the industry, if you've paid attention to tech over the years, a lot happens in this space. First and foremost, you've probably heard this concept around next gen artificial intelligence PC, AI, generative AI, Copilot, right? Chat GPT, all of these, Bard, think about DALL-E, large language models, all of these have been top headlines in recent days. So we'll talk about what Alienware has done from a gaming space. They had some really interesting announcements. So the M16, which has been in market, got a significant overhaul. You think about thermals, you think about raw performance. There's a new feature called stealth mode. So if you were gaming in a public area and you wanted to cut your RGB lighting and toggle acoustics, thermals, you can toggle stealth mode and definitely hit the ground running there. The M16, again, is 16-inch, a ton of innovation there. I don't want to spend too much time talking about speeds and feeds. We have spec sheets, we have blog links where you can go unpack some of that. But M16 R2, significant overhaul. The list goes on. Some of that high level, I talked about stealth mode. The battery got a little bit bigger to allow you to game, mobily if you're on the road. The M18, this is all about performance. Alienware's most powerful laptop just got stronger, packed with latest and greatest from an Intel CPU architecture standpoint, latest and greatest from an NVIDIA graphics standpoint, Cryotech, all of that cooling solution, Element 31. You've probably been paying attention to this from an industry standpoint or paid attention to it from just, sheer passion or knowledge, but the M18 got a heck of a lot more powerful. Again, that's an 18-inch screen size. If you're looking for that desktop caliber performance in a mobile footprint, because you want to game on the go, maybe you're more serious from an esports athlete perspective, the M18R2, great little device that packs a heck of a punch. The X series, this is really all about that thin and light, slimmest profile. The X16, 16-inch screen, got a significant overhaul. You think about what they've done from a performance perspective. You think about that CPU, GPU concurrency, what they're doing from a thermal design power, graphics design power, that total package. Again, don't want to get too much in the weeds here. Cryotech cooling solution got significantly overhauled. Think about the actual display, the amount of refresh rate got a lot faster to really give you that optimal performance there. Memory technology, gen on gen, continuously improving. Storage, ample storage there. So we talked about the M16, M18, and the X16. Again, if you look at the blogs, these were what the industry has been talking about. You look at third-party reviewers, do a quick search on Google or even on YouTube. Industry has been talking about it, whether it's even the displays. A lot of those top people that you probably follow, they talked about what the gaming monitor means to them and what innovation kind of came to life there. Peripherals, one of my favorite things. I don't know about all of you, but I can't wait to buy this. I'm certainly not going to get my hands on them. I'm probably going to have to buy these, and these are incredible peripherals. So backstory there, you think about traditional gamers, they want to be hardwired because of the latency. They want zero degradation on those keystrokes, on the mice interactions, right? That's the difference between a standard athlete and a pro athlete. We came to market with the Pro Wireless combo keyboard, combo keyboards and mice, two separate things. We worked with over 100 esport athletes around the globe, including Team Liquid, our longtime partner. Definitely a legacy there on how to meticulously craft these devices. I had read an article about the design of these products. A very key headline just recently said, hey, did a wizard design this? And I quite frankly think a wizard did. When you think about the innovation, from the keystroke, the switches, the technology from a DPI perspective, advanced polling, connectivity, right? Your standard RF dongle, USB Type-C, or even Bluetooth, right? You think about DPI, that mouse is going to go up to 26,000 DPI, which is like mind-blowing to think the amount of accuracy. So latency, I have that called out in some of the blogs. Ryan, you can certainly take a look, and we will share kind of that collateral there. But key thing here, if you have a serious esports athletes, or you have your own passion to game with top peripherals, these are certainly something you can put in your hands. One of the callouts when you think about the design of the keyboard itself, you want to tuck that keyboard on the side under your display so you can focus on your gaming keys, the WASD keys, and then use your mouse on the side, right? So with that smaller footprint, you're able to optimize that. I'm probably talking to a ton of gamers out there that get it, so let's kind of keep moving. Matt McGowan leads our Alienware business. He's GM over there. He did a great about 10-minute video going through some of this. We can share the collateral. Which is just a screenshot of the video itself. You can certainly take a look at all the innovation. There's going to be links in the description there to go take a look. But in summary, Alienware, a ton of things kind of came to life at CES, whether it's the 27-inch or 32-inch. But then from a broader portfolio, we announced, the M16, M18, X16, and the new keyboards and mice from a peripheral standpoint, all in the wireless space. Ton of awesome stuff from a portfolio standpoint. So definitely 32 minutes in, we're doing good from a time perspective. So know that there is, we got to talk about XPS. So I'll do a little bit of storytelling, and again, keep the comments going. I stopped sharing because in typical Darren fashion, we'll do a little show and tell. Let me just pop this on screen, and Jack has spotlighted my video, which is great. And I'm just checking the chat, and we'll go ahead to my overhead camera as that kind of comes to life. So on screen, and again, pardon the it's not crystal clear as it should be, but in essence of time, we'll keep rolling. So on screen is our XPS 13 Plus. And, when we came to market with the XPS 13 Plus, there was a lot of things that we did for the first time, whether it's that edge-to-edge zero lattice keyboard over here. You think about that haptic touchpad down below, giving you incredible kind of look and feel. And then up top, you saw that touch bar, right? So right now, I'll put it back to the standard menu controls, but this is a touch bar. There's no physical buttons. You're interacting with the keyboard itself. But basically what we saw with the XPS 13 Plus is that's going to waterfall into the rest of the XPS portfolio. So storytelling to lay the landscape here. Again, XPS 13 Plus, this has been in market already. Know that there is a ton of innovation there. Let's go back up top, share my screen, and talk about the XPS portfolio. Let's go back. Grab my keyboard, and we are rolling. Let me bring up the chat. Anytime I move things around, I got to reset. So from an XPS perspective, again, blog post already out there. Coming soon is kind of the extent that I'll say. The XPS, drum roll, 16, 14, and 13. Historically, if you've followed XPS for any number of years, you've known that, hey, XPS 13, then we had the XPS 13 Plus. You have now the XPS 14 and XPS 16. I want to pause for a second. This is a consumer-focused product, right? If you're on the consumer side of the house, need that executive kind of jewelry where you like that look and feel, go ahead on the consumer space, grab that XPS. On the precision space, this is a user community, so there's a ton of people in various different roles. Our precision 5000 series comes in a 14-inch and 16-inch. if you need raw performance, those commercial brand tenants, vPro out of band management, you need Dell Optimizer, where you have the analytics piece. You want, the ISV applications that have been validated for your full GPU stack. You want to be playing on the Precision 5000 series side of the house in our commercial portfolio. This is a consumer play, and I'm going to kind of showcase some of that. So URLs asked, hey, is the XPS 15 getting discontinued? So looking at the writing on the wall, right, the 15, 17 inch are transitioning to the 14 and 16. And really it hits a sweet spot, and I'll talk about the screen size in just a bit. But on the Precision side of the house, we used to have a Precision 5000. We had a Precision 17 inch in the 5000 series space, as well as a 15 inch. They've moved to the 14 and 16. So you're seeing kind of that. That's where the industry is headed. Those are the sweet spots. So kind of the answer there. So on screen, you are seeing the 13, the 16, and the 14. So ton of innovation. You'll look at the keyboard design. You'll look at the top firing speakers. Comes in two different colors. You'll see, the touch bar up top for the function keys, or volume up, volume down, mic mute, things like that. You can toggle it on or off. So if you're worried about erroneous keystrokes or things like that, in the notion of the next gen AI PC, right? Using Microsoft Windows Studio Effects with Meteor Lake architecture, right? Anyone want to take a guess on what has changed or what hasn't changed after 30 years? Anyone notice anything on screen? And again, this is just a single look at the XPS 13 itself. And I'll give it away in just a second. Let's see. Same colors offered, so not quite what I'm talking about. So escape key. So you're talking about the touch bar. So Leo's talked about the keys. Todd, definitely wouldn't put it past you to know, but it's the Copilot key, right? So if you look at this whole push for the AI PC, the keyboard is changing after 30 plus years. This is just a single XPS device. You're now going to have a dedicated Copilot key. So a lot of innovation that's coming to life with Microsoft Copilot, whether you're using it from an O365 standpoint, whether you're using it, from a broader space, but now using that button, you're going to see that big push for Windows 11 plus Microsoft Copilot. So a ton of innovation and what you're going to see that's coming to life. So on screen, the 13 inch. So there was a comment about the number pad, right? You're looking at the 13 inch edge to edge zero lattice keyboard, full haptic touchpad. Another view of that 13 inch. Resolution, right? When you think about full HD plus, going all the way up to 120 hertz. So in the press kit, there was a great video that I'm not going to be talking about at great length or showing it, but go take a look and check it out. Some of the feedback that we did hear about the previous XPS 13 plus was the removal of that headset jack. I know I felt that myself. We've brought it back on the 14 and 16, so a lot of space to work with. We're able to do that. So looking at the 14 inch, right, you are going to see top firing speakers, the zero lattice keyboard. You're going to see that haptic touchpad, the touch bar up at the top, dedicated Copilot keys. Looking at it from another angle, right? Looking at resolution, for XPS 14 in particular, full HD plus all the way up to 120 hertz. So good wide variety of options. There was a comment, USB Type-C and docking station. So yes, you will be able to use Type-C from a dock perspective. Quick little view. Don't worry about the sound. There is no sound, but this is the 14 inch, right? Just showing you a different angle of that. I don't have any prototypes in my possession to show you. So quick little demo there. XPS 16, a little bit bigger, more thermal headroom. Ton of innovation went into there. Top firing speakers, zero lattice keyboard, the haptic touchpad. The list goes on. Give me a sec. I'm gonna drink a sip of water. Been talking all morning. So you're seeing again another view. The 16-inch will go full HD plus all the way up to 4K plus resolution. So again, ton of choice. And then when you look at the full portfolio, again, XPS 13, XPS 14, and XPS 16. There's a couple of comments in the chat that I'm going to defer to the spec sheet just because of the blog posts and the embargoes that we're under. Go take a look at the blog post. You'll get links to the model numbers and full details. And the team from the user community will go ahead and send that out. So we're in the home stretch here. Quick summary of what we talked about today. I did say at the beginning we weren't going to be using the full hour. So from a CES Innovation Award honorees, right, the Alienware displays, 32-inch, 27-inch, the ultra sharp 40-inch, a lot of innovation that went into them, and rightfully so, getting recognized at the industry level. But surrounding CES, as I said, you have the new 34-inch ultra sharp Thunderbolt display. We talked about Alienware, and I think the action is we'll invite one of my colleagues. He doesn't know yet, but we'll have Jack reach out, and we'll probably put on an Alienware webinar where we'll talk about some of this at greater detail. The M16, the M18, the X16, the peripheral story. You'll see maybe the XPS team will come do a deeper dive once the products fully launch and are in market. So Uriel, to your point, I'm going to say it's coming soon. Reach out to your Dell account team. They'll be able to provide kind of that firm ETA. It's region specific across the globe, but I will say it's coming soon. It's around the corner, so hopefully not much longer, but stay tuned there. We're getting some feedback around, hey, having upcoming webinars to talk about some of this would be awesome. So I'm glad kind of there is the validation from the folks there. XPS, again, 13, 14, 16, the 15 and 17 do transition to the new 14, 16, truly the sweet spots from an industry standpoint. Collateral, the team, Jack, Kirsten will go ahead and do that. Blog posts from a Dell Technologies standpoint, publicly facing, go take a look at our YouTube channel. A lot of content there. Look at Alienware from an Alienware arena perspective. A couple of blog posts that I kind of summarized at a pretty high level here to go check out. Hit up the Alienware YouTube page. You'll hear from Eddie. You'll hear from Matt McGowan, key experts on the Alienware side of the house, doing a much deeper dive than I would if you want to check it out. But with that, I always love this time of year. I'm a geek at heart, so love seeing what the industry, what our competitors are doing. The keynotes, right? CES. I just share that Intel's keynote was awesome. It was posted online. Go check it out on YouTube. It was really cool to hear from key experts, right? You think about Sam Bird from a Dell Technologies standpoint, his peers at HP, Lenovo on the same stage, talking about next-gen AI PC, the big push with Microsoft from a Copilot perspective, talking about the industry, the excitement around refreshing now to harness some of the technology. I'm stealing Intel's thunder, but they probably appreciate me sharing, right? You've seen some of the press releases of upcoming Intel processors that are still under embargo, but they've been announced from an industry standpoint. They're changing the game with this NPU, this neural processing unit, that's going to go align with your CPU and GPU. Think about the potential offloading AI capabilities to that NPU. A ton of details online. I'm not sharing too many secrets here, but go take a look at the PDFs. You'll be able to read up on what this NPU means, what that does from a technology standpoint. I know I was chatting with Jack. Intel is going to be on an upcoming webinar to unpack some of this. But with that, I sincerely appreciate everyone's time. As always, the community, I'm thrilled to see how much it's grown. Stay tuned, a lot more in store for this year. But Jack, over to you.
Hey, I mean, but before we get into the final housekeeping, let's just get a round of applause for Darren. I mean, how much fun is having Darren do all of this? Like, it's just thank you, Nikki, thank you, Pod. I
Always.
mean, this is just fantastic. Darren, yeah, you're the best, as you can see from all of our all-stars in here, right? I mean, there's so many people, so many names I recognize that are on all of these, and we just love having you here. So we really, really appreciate it.
Always.
But so right as Darren promised, we will be sending out all of this information. We'll have the recording because I know I'm going to personally watch it again because Darren, there's a lot of information you gave all of us, some ideas for future webinars. So everybody stay tuned. In the beginning, right, we talked about the DTUC store. That will be coming. Darren will make sure we get you some personalized stuff for webinars in the future. And just, thank you everybody. Once you close this out, the survey will be available. Just a reminder, right? 4 lucky people will win a gift card. Mentions to the store in future, right? We might be going away from the gift card. You might be able to get $25 towards the gift card or towards the store. So we'll see. It'll be super exciting. But once again, thank you everybody. We really appreciate your time. Darren, we appreciate you. We will get all of the assets out. We'll get the recording up, and we'll see all of you very, very soon.
Yep. Thanks, Jack. Thanks, team.
Have a good one. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah.